When you're caring for an elderly or bedridden person at home, there's no supervisor watching. There's no professional at the end of the shift to tell you, "Good job today. You got it right." You're figuring it out, often in the middle of the night, often alone, often exhausted. And here's the thing almost no one talks about. Even the most loving, dedicated family caregivers make the same 5 mistakes. Not because they're careless, because no one ever showed them otherwise. In this video, I'm going to show you what those mistakes are, and exactly what to do instead. Stay until the end, because mistake number 5 is the one most people completely overlook. Now, let's talk about those 5 mistakes. This is the mistake that comes from love. When someone you care about is struggling to button their shirt, struggling to lift a spoon, struggling to stand up slowly from a chair, every instinct you have says, just do it for them, help them, make it easier. And it feels kind. But according to the World Health Organization's ICOPE guidelines on integrated care for older people, preserving what a person can still do for themselves is one of the most important goals of care, not doing it for them. Here's why. When an older or bedridden person stops using a muscle, any muscle, that muscle gets weaker, faster than you'd think. And with muscle loss comes more dependence, more risk of falls, more risk of cognitive decline. Inactivity over time accelerates exactly what you're trying to prevent. The principle that guides good home care is this: don't do for your loved one what they can do for themselves, even if it takes 3 times longer. If they can lift a cup, let them lift it. If they can move their legs to the edge of the bed, encourage them to do it. Your role is to support and supervise, not to replace. This doesn't mean leaving someone to struggle in pain or frustration. It means finding the right level of assistance, enough support to keep them safe, but not so much that you take over what their body still can do. That balance is the heart of good home care. This one matters a lot, and it's almost universally misunderstood. If your loved one is bedridden, you may be giving them meals or drinks while they're lying in bed, head at a low angle. It seems comfortable, it seems natural, but here's what's actually happening. When someone eats or drinks while lying flat, food and liquid can travel the wrong way, down toward the airway instead of the esophagus. This is called aspiration. And aspiration can lead to aspiration pneumonia, which is one of the most serious complications for bedridden and elderly patients. Professional nursing guidelines are very clear on this. According to the California Nurse Aid Certification Standards and the Indiana Nurse Aid Curriculum, both of which reflect standard care practice across the United States, before feeding a bedridden person, you must raise the head of the bed to at least 75 to 90 degrees, upright, as close to sitting as possible. And it doesn't end when the meal is over. After eating or drinking, the person should remain upright, or at least with the head elevated, for at least 30 minutes. This allows the stomach to settle and prevents food from traveling back up toward the airway. If you don't have an adjustable bed, use firm pillows to create an angled support. The goal is always upright, supported, safe. Water. It sounds so simple, but dehydration is one of the most common and most under-recognized problems in home care of elderly people. And the reason it's missed is that older adults often don't feel thirsty the way younger people do. The World Health Organization's ICOPE guidelines explain that age-related changes reduce the body's thirst sensation. An older person may genuinely not feel thirsty, even when their body desperately needs fluids. So waiting for them to ask for water is not a strategy. According to WHO guidelines, the daily fluid intake goal for an older adult, when no other medical restrictions apply, should be at least 1.6 to 2 liters per day. That's 6 to 8 cups. And that includes not just water, but soups, herbal teas, fruit juices, and foods with high water content like fresh fruit. What does dehydration actually look like in an older adult? The signs can be surprisingly subtle: dark-colored urine, dry mouth or dry lips, fatigue or unusual weakness, headaches. In more serious cases, confusion, dizziness, or rapid heart rate. The practical fix is straightforward. Keep a simple tracking note near the bed or in the kitchen. Every time your loved one drinks something, mark it down. Offer fluids proactively, every 2 to 3 hours, rather than waiting. Keep drinks they enjoy within reach. And if the person has incontinence concerns and avoids drinking because of that, speak with their doctor. Restricting fluids to manage incontinence can actually make things worse, not better. If your loved one spends most of the day and night in bed or in a chair, this mistake could be causing invisible damage right now. and it can develop far faster than most people realize. When someone lies or sits in the same position for extended periods, the pressure of their body weight reduces blood flow to the skin and underlying tissue. Skin that is deprived of blood flow begins to break down. This is how pressure ulcers, also called bed sores or decubitus ulcers, develop. According to the Indiana Nurse Aid curriculum, skin breakdown can begin in as little as 2 hours in a person who remains in the same position without shifting their weight. 2 hours. That's shorter than a typical afternoon nap. The solution is regular repositioning. According to the EPUAP, the European Pressure Ulcer Advisory Panel, which publishes the international standard guidelines on this topic, all individuals at risk of pressure injuries should be repositioned on an individualized schedule. In practice, for someone who cannot reposition themselves, a common starting point used in care settings is turning or repositioning every 2 hours during the day, with positioning aids like pillows placed to support the new position and protect bony areas: the heels, the hip, the shoulder, the back of the head. The areas most vulnerable are the bony prominences: heels, the base of the spine, the hips, shoulder blades. These need to be checked during each repositioning. Look for redness that doesn't fade when you press lightly on it. That's an early warning sign that should be discussed with a healthcare professional. And this applies not just in bed. Someone sitting in a chair or wheelchair for several hours also needs to shift their weight regularly. If they can do this themselves, encourage it. If not, assist them. And here we are at mistake number 5, the one that almost no one talks about. Because when you're caring for someone you love, your instinct is to put everything into them. Every ounce of energy, every hour of the day. Yourself, last or not at all. But here's what happens when a caregiver reaches the point of burnout. The quality of care declines, the risk of accidents increases, and the person you're caring for, the one you're doing all of this for, is the one who suffers most. The World Health Organization's integrated care guidelines are explicit about this. Caring for someone can be genuinely tiring and stressful, particularly for family carers who live with the person they are caring for. This affects the carer's health and well-being. It is not weakness. It is a recognized medical reality. Signs of caregiver burnout include persistent exhaustion, feeling isolated, increased irritability, sleep disruption, and a sense that nothing you do is enough. If you recognize yourself here, please know this: asking for help is not giving up. It is the most responsible thing you can do for the person in your care. What does the evidence say actually helps? WHO guidelines recommend maintaining regular sleep, staying physically active where possible, keeping connections with friends and family, taking regular breaks, even short ones, and looking into respite care options if available in your area. Respite care means having someone else step in temporarily so you can rest. It's not abandonment. It is part of a sustainable care plan. And this is important. If you are experiencing persistent anxiety, depression, or a sense of hopelessness, please speak to your own doctor. Your health matters. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So let's bring it all together. Mistake 1, doing everything for your loved one when they could still do it themselves. Mistake 2, feeding or giving drinks while they're lying flat. Mistake 3, assuming they'll ask for water when they need it. Mistake 4, not repositioning regularly enough. And mistake 5, running yourself into the ground and calling it dedication. None of these mistakes come from not caring. They come from not knowing, and now you know. If this video helped you, if you recognized even one thing that you'll do differently, please share it with someone else who's caring for a loved one at home. They need this information too. Subscribe to Vitality Caregiving for a new video every week. In our next video, we're going to look at how to set up a safe home environment to reduce the risk of falls, one of the biggest dangers for older adults living at home. You won't want to miss it. You are doing something remarkable. Take care of your loved one, and take care of yourself.